Hello, hello, yes, join me, sit down, but don't make yourself too comfortable because I don't really want to waste much time on this terrible, terrible gun. I mean, I wouldn't recommend using it if I'm going to be completely honest with you. It is painfully bad to start with, the M30 Luftwaffe Drilling. It does actually pack quite a serious punch once you get it upgraded a little bit. You get a few attachments and you use the Expeditionary Division to give yourself those incendiary shotgun shells. But at the start, it's so painful to use. You really can't get away with many other divisions when using this one, which is why I end up using the Expeditionary Division. And it's probably one of the only times you'll actually see me recommend a class that has this division equipped with it, just because once you do put the incendiary shells on it, it becomes so much more consistent and so much better at getting one-shot kills. I think if you don't really have them, you might struggle to find you're getting those one-shot kills. Advanced rifling and steady aim, obviously the recommended attachments I suggested. You might get some good one-shot kills if you can be very good with your aim, but at the same time, it's so inconsistent. It really does not have much range at all, and it's very, very disappointing to use. It actually really hindered my KD, and you know me, I'm a bit of a stat whore in that way, and it hurt my pride a little bit having to use this gun, which is why I really don't want to spend too much time on it, but I probably wasted about 3 minutes anyway just talking about rubbish. So let's get into it. Obviously, it's only really usable with the Expeditionary Division. I think also as a division itself, with a gun like this, it works out even better, not just because of the incendiary shells. The fact that you can get an extra lethal or tactical when you have one of those equipped already, which means that you're going to have something to use to your advantage in your arsenal, as well as the tactical being probably a smoke grenade to help you get across the map without being absolutely decimated before you can get anywhere. You could throw equipment while sprinting, which is a great plus for you if you are caught out and you want to get moving quickly. And the fact that you can resupply equipment from dead bodies is fantastic, so you can constantly be using grenades if you are taking people out and hopefully extend your kill streak. Now, as far as the attachments go, I think reflex is pointless. I will say that this gun actually does better. It's one of the few shotguns that does better when you aim down its sights, because it does seem to make your shots a bit more accurate. It does seem to extend a bit of range, so I wouldn't say it's totally pointless, but for me, I don't think you're going to be really needing the reflex. Same with the quick draw. Obviously, if you are aiming down sights, it's going to speed up the ADS time, but I don't think it's going to give you much benefit past that. Steady aim's great. Obviously, it tightens the spread of the shots, meaning that more shells are going to hit your opponent when you aim them, but obviously you have to be quite accurate with them. Advanced rifling is also great. The extension of damage over distance is a big help. Obviously, this gun still doesn't have massive amounts of range, but it does help, especially if there are at extreme ranges. You can usually fire 2 shots off and eventually get a kill, but that is quite a difficult task to have someone not attack you or catch someone out in that regard. Rapid fire, not worth it. I don't think you need to fire the shots as quickly as you possibly can. I don't think it's going to benefit you in any way. You really want to be aiming to try and get one-shot kills with this, so firing off 2 shots, although it might get the bullets out for you to be able to reload and get the next ones in, it's not really a worthwhile attachment. Rifle bullet's actually good, but it requires you to play a different playstyle because it's almost like using a sniper. It does have an extremely long range, and it does help you out with that that very short and hindered range. But you want to be able to have a little bit more practicality in terms of longevity and getting longer streaks, which is what is not going to help you do. I actually wouldn't be surprised if some people started running infantry on that and just aiming down sights whilst moving around the map and having their sights up to aim the shotgun at people at range. And obviously with the infantry you get extra ammo to start with, and I think as a default you get something like 6 rifle bullets, so you could get even more with that. Start off with, don't quote me on that, I'm not sure if that's a thing, but it's definitely something, more of a theory craft than something I've actually tested myself, so maybe give it a go yourself if you're finding that this class I've suggested is not particularly worth your time. Some basic trainings to look at: espionage. If you are finding a few hit markers, it would be helpful for your team to know where they are. Requisitions, it means that your streaks obviously won't reset, they'll cost more, but if you are finding you're not getting those streaks, by the way, I recommend putting low streaks, especially something like the Molotov cocktail, so you can actually have something more to work with in your practicality in your arsenal. Rifleman is probably something I would 100% say is worth going with this gun, just because as a whole, this gun sucks. It's not really going to do much for you. Hustle is probably the best basic training. The fact that you speed up the reload time. I still don't think it's as fast as it should be for a gun like this. I think you should be able to, with Hustle, load both shells in at the same time to speed things up, but that's just me. Gunslinger could be okay, but again, I think that would be a benefit if you had other perks and things you could actually put on the class itself, but obviously you can't. Bang could be a nice one. Having an extra grenade or tactical, and the fact that you can resupply them with the expeditionary division would be a really nice basic training. But again, I don't know how much more practical. You kind of, when you're not going with Hustle, you're reserving yourself to basically play to get a kill or two with your shells, and then you might die, or you might be able to spend a year getting that reload off. Again, Flanker could be good, hidden from recon if you're using expeditionary, and inconspicuous for silent movement. Those are some basic trainings that might be worth looking into, but honestly, I think the class I've gone with, for simply the fact that when you're trying to benefit from using a gun, you want as much benefit to that weapon as a whole and what you can do with it as possible, rather than, you know, for example, Rifleman having a primary as a secondary, trying to use that to the best of your ability, which doesn't really help the main gun. It just kind of gives you, as a person, something to deal with or work with, rather than just being left out in the cold with nothing to use, I suppose, with that weapon. But yeah, not a very good weapon. Don't recommend using it. If you're going to use it and put yourself through the pain, probably follow these steps or try some of these ideas out. Experiment with it if you want to. I wouldn't really recommend it. I think the gun's trash. Hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like rating if you want to. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you for the next one.